Today, I'm going to show you how to make perfect French macarons using a hand mixer in order to achieve stiff peaks with our meringue. Let's get started. So today I'm using 110 grams of egg whites. I'm also going to use a timer to see how long it takes to whip to stiff peaks. I'm using a 5-speed handheld mixer and I'm whipping at a speed of 3. We want to continue whipping our egg whites until it looks like really small white bubbles, almost like a foam. Once we achieve this state, then we will begin to add our sugar. Now that our egg whites are foamy looking, let's begin slowly adding our sugar. Continue beating while you pour the sugar. And you can see I'm just pouring a little at a time and mixing together, and then I'll add a little more. Keep doing this until you have poured in all the sugar. I'm still beating at that speed of 3. Now that all the sugar has been poured into the egg whites, continue whipping, and I'm going to add a pinch of cream of tartar. This is optional, but it does help stabilize your meringue, especially using the French method. Now I'm going to turn my mixer all the way up to speed 5 and continue mixing, checking periodically for stiff peaks. As you can see here, we're already 6 minutes into making the meringue, and the meringue still has a liquidy look to it. It does take longer to make the meringue when using the hand mixer, so just be prepared. Now we are 9.5 minutes into making the meringue. We're starting to get peaks to form, but they're not stiff yet. We need to keep going. Now we're 15 minutes into making our meringue. Let's check again. We're almost at stiff peaks. See how that one peak in the bowl is bending over? Let's go a little longer. It's not quite sticking straight up yet. It is holding shape, but it's not sticking straight out. We need to go a little longer. Now we're at 17.5 minutes. Our peaks are almost stiff. Look at this. The peaks are sticking up. They are pointy, but I'll be honest with you, I think we can go further. They're not as stiff as I can get them in a stand mixer, so I want to keep going just a couple minutes longer. We're almost there. Now we're approaching the 20-minute mark. Let's see. Yes, these are stiff peaks. See how the peaks are standing straight up in the bowl? Look at that. This is exactly what we're looking for. It took 20 minutes and 29 seconds. So it does take longer using the hand mixer than it does the stand mixer. So just remember to keep going until you achieve stiff peaks. This will help you get full shells and not have hollows. Now it's time to combine our meringue and our dry ingredients and macaronage. First, I'm going to transfer the meringue over to a larger bowl. Then I'm going to transfer almond flour and powdered sugar and sift into the meringue. I'm using 145 grams of almond flour and 131 grams of powdered sugar. I have the recipe in the description below. I poured half of the almond flour and sugar mixture through the sifter. I discarded the large pieces, and I'm going to mix this with the meringue. We just want to mix until it's well combined, and then we'll add the remaining almond flour and powdered sugar. Again, discard any large pieces that will not go through the sifter. Continue combining the almond flour, powdered sugar, and the meringue until you have a nice thick batter. All your ingredients should be well combined. Now is when you would want to add your color. I'm adding a couple of drops of peach just to give the shell a hint of color. I've also started the macaronage process. As you can see, I'm pushing the batter through the center of the bowl and pressing against the side. It's almost like a backwards J. You want to keep doing this until we get to a ribbon-like stage. And what I mean by ribbon-like stage is the batter should flow off of the end of the spatula, and you want to be able to make like 2 or 3 figure eights. Let's check the batter again. Okay, see, I made a figure 8, and look how the batter is spreading back into itself in the bowl. It's losing its shape. I couldn't quite make 2 figure 8s, so I'm going to keep going, but not for long. I only wanted to do a couple of strokes. Okay, see here, I was able to make 2 figure 8s. We're going to stop the macaronage process here and transfer the batter to the piping bag. Today I'm using a number 12 round tip. Now I've covered my work surface with a towel, and I'm using a 1.5 inch template. You can download this template with a link in the description below. Now I'm piping the shells, pipe at a 90-degree angle with even pressure. Remove your template and bang your tray to remove the air bubbles. You can use a scribe or a toothpick to pop any remaining bubbles and smooth out your shells. After this, you want your shells to rest until a skin forms. This can take anywhere from 15 minutes to 1 hour, depending on how humid your environment is. You want to look for a matte finish, and you want to be able to rub your finger over top of the shell without any batter coming off on your finger. Once your shells have rested, now it's time to bake. I have preheated the oven to 300 degrees. Now I'm going to bake at 300 degrees for 15 minutes. The shells are out of the oven and cooled. Let's cut one open and see the inside. As you can see, we have full shells. The key to having full shells is to make sure your meringue is very stiff, like we did in the previous step, and stopping the macaronage stage as soon as you can make 2 to 3 figure 8s. You also want to ensure you're baking thoroughly. Now it's time to fill your shells with your favorite filling. Today I'm using a cream cheese filling. I'll put the recipe in the description below. It's a very simple recipe. I'm also using a star 21 tip to give that ruffle look to the filling. Now just put your shells together, and it's time to enjoy. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, and while you're here, make sure to watch this other macaron video. Have a wonderful and blessed day.